Hello to everyone and the internet. It is currently Friday, December 21st. I am Nathan of Washington, and you are watching Culture Shock, the only show on the internet that has to separate an issue of culture from an issue of politics. And this is the news. Yeah, there's some audio in the background. People are talking, so don't worry too much about it. But behold the power of hemp. As Trump actually finally lifts the age-old ban on hemp, which was really just a piece of bullshit legislation if there ever was one. I will now read you the article. Trump officially legalizes hemp nationwide. Hemp has been illegal in the United States since 1937, but this changed on Thursday after President Donald Trump signed the Farm Bill, legalizing industrial hemp in the U.S. once again. The bid for hemp's recent legalization began when Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell pushed for hemp to be freely available to all Americans as part of the 2018 Farm Bill. The goal was to reinvigorate the plant's farming opportunities from state pilot programs to a nationwide scale, by removing hemp from the Controlled Substances Act and treating it like an agricultural product. Upon signing the bill Thursday, Trump called it his great honor to sign the 2018 Farm Bill. A very special and important piece of legislation. He added it opens new markets for agriculture all over the world. Chronicle, I think it's called, .com, reports, let's bring you up to speed. Hemp is defined in the legislation as the cannabis plant, which is the same plant that produces marijuana, with one key difference. Hemp cannot contain more than 0.3% of THC, the compound in the plant most commonly associated with getting a person high. Basically, hemp can't get you high. For decades, federal law did not differentiate hemp from other cannabis plants, all of which were effectively made illegal in 1937 under the Marijuana Tax Stamp Act and formally made illegal in 1970 under the Controlled Substances Act. The later banned cannabis of any kind. It's true that hemp policy in the United States has been drastically transformed by this new legislation. However, there remain some misconceptions about what exactly this policy change does. The 807-page document is nearly half a foot tall. Hemp is discussed in only a handful of pages, but the impact on the industry is monumental. Essentially what this new law does, it will redefine hemp to include its extracts, cannabinoids, and derivatives. Congress explicitly has removed popular hemp products, such as hemp-derived cannabinol, CBD, from the purview of the CSA. Accordingly, the Drug Enforcement Administration no longer has any possible claim to interfere with the interstate commerce of hemp products. This could give comfort to federally regulated institutions, banks, merchant services, credit card companies, e-commerce sites, and advertising platforms to conduct commerce with the hemp and hemp product industry. Hemp farmers now may finally access needed crop insurance and can fully participate in the USDA programs for certification and competitive grants. State and local governments may impose separate restrictions or requirements on hemp growth and the scale of hemp products. However, they cannot interfere with the interstate transport of hemp or hemp products. We are hopeful that the local and state officials will follow Congress' lead, as well as the statements and resolutions of the World Health Organization and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, that declare after intense scientific scrutiny that CBD is safe, non-toxic, and non-addictive. The FDA continues to exercise jurisdiction over the regulation of ingestible and topical hemp products. We applaud the agency's continued efforts to crack down on bad actors who undermine the industry through misguided marketing claims. And while we are concerned about non-binding statements made by the FDA that have led some state and local officials to question the legality of the retail sale of hemp-derived CBD, we are hopeful that we can work with the agency to clarify that CBD, which their own scientists concluded has no abuse potential and does not pose a risk to public health, should not be withheld from Americans who count on it for their health and wellness. In short, this is a big deal. Marijuana and the hemp plant was, they were pretty much illegalized partly because it was a threat to the paper industry. It was corporatists that made that happen, because it was a threat to what they were making money on at the time. But let me explain to you the wonders of hemp as a material. Hawaiians have been using it for centuries. You can use hemp to make clothes, buildings, concrete, or as we call it, hempcrete, paper, rope, and all more durable than their tree-derived counterparts. They're durable, they last longer, they hold up really well in the rain. Hemp is an amazing material, and you know, it was illegalized because it was a threat to the industry. Maybe at some point I'll talk to you folks about that. But that's not the point. That's just me saying that is something I happen to know. My point being that with this change, people finally have access to life-saving CBD oil. We'll start be able to make things out of hemp. Not hump. We'll be able to start making things out of hemp. It's gonna be a wonderful thing in the future. Just wait. We're going to see some real improvements in society from this. We're going to have healthier people that are being treated for things like cancer and brain damage. We're going to have the possibility of stronger building materials for better shelter. Just you wait. Pope Francis now saying that migrants are like Jesus. Gee, no wonder I don't like them. But all kidding aside, just joking, that's a joke. Pope Francis is a globalist turd. And he basically leads a church and not a nation. Thusly, he is profoundly unqualified to talk about national policy, because he does not lead a nation, he leads a church. That is smaller scale, that is easier to manage, less important. I don't get why people think they can just intrude into other people's intellectual territory like that, and then just pretend like they know what they're talking about. Scientists do it all the time. It's basically the cardinal sin of science. Bottom line is, he just doesn't know what the hell he's saying. He's just a globalist turd. Honestly, if he keeps saying bullshit like this, he will eventually influence some people. Some people are going to listen to him, and then they'll be in favor of migration, making nationalism's job of fixing or cleaning up the mess made by globalism. It's going to make that job much harder, because people are going to want more migrants. Francis is a troublemaker, for sure, who thinks he knows shit that he just doesn't know. Bottom line is, I think he's a fool. He's an absolute fool. So 700 pedo priests in Illinois are accused of sexually abusing kids. And of course the church was sitting on it for a while, didn't even want to talk about it. And even when the accusation was brought forth, did they want to talk about it? Of course not. That whole Catholic Church seems almost entirely degenerate, if you ask me. Speaking about degeneracy, a Muslim imam has declared Christmas evil, and you will go to hell for celebrating it. And of course leftists, the degenerates there, think Muslims will integrate and make us stronger, that they'll just magically integrate without us encouraging them to do it. You know, they'll make us stronger. Diversity is our strength. No, this is more proof of what I've already been saying. That they're just going to be, that their cultural values will rub up against ours, causing friction and creating a conflict, inevitably. Pretty much everything they'll start to do will be designed to in some way provoke us. So I'm just like, screw it. They're obviously being provocative. They don't like us. They don't care about us. They want to come here and take over. And the left's too stupid to see it. I mean, no one hates Christmas except Muslims, apparently. That one's so obvious. I think even the left is going to have to at some point admit it. No, they're gonna be so into Islam that they're gonna become Muslims. Just you wait, idiots. Trump says that Democrats may do anything to remove him, even causing destabilization, economic destruction, or even civil war. And the people rise up as they do. That's basically what he said. It's like, I gotta wonder, are the Democrats really desperate that they're literally going to try to split the nation in half or destroy our economy just to get him removed? Are they really that desperate? Trump seems to think so. And while they are desperate to remove him due to their constant butt hurt, I sometimes really have to wonder if they really would go that far. That seems almost too insane even for them. Even for the left. I don't think that they're going to take it to that level. It just doesn't seem very realistic. But if they do, he is right in that they probably would rally behind him. And that the Democrats would be forever demonized. Which, at this point, they should be anyway, if you ask me. The establishment is hella angry, because Trump has basically started to pull the troops. In about 30 days, the troops will be leaving the Middle East. And of course, they don't like their power being challenged. Because the establishment wants those troops in the Middle East because, Middle Eastern oil, military-industrial complex. It makes them very powerful and rich. So pulling out the troops would weaken them ultimately. Personally, I just want to see an end to the American bully state. And Trump is obviously making moves towards that end. So, for 2020, he's probably going to be my guy. But obviously, they don't like their power being challenged. And, pulling the troops out. They no longer have power in the Middle East, making them stronger and getting fat off the world. Getting fat off the food of other people, so to speak. Finally, despotic Britain now installing 3,500 troops in the event of unsafe Brexit deal. They're basically afraid that if they do go forward through Brexit without some safety net afterwards, that people are going to start rioting and there's going to be anarchy and chaos, which is, of course, the position of all tyrannical governments. They think that, without us, there'd be nothing but chaos and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's what they always think. But lately, Britain's government's been hella tyrannical. They're following the example of Brussels. Theresa May's a despot. That's all there is to it. Wanting to censor alt media so that people only have a choice to listen to her lying mainstream media. Censorship, suppression. Next one's violence. By definition, once she gets the violence in there, then she truly will be a despot. And if you've noticed what she's installing 3,500 troops into the British environment, the violence is on its way. Despotic dictatorship. And I actually have a couple of friends in Britain, so I'm a little worried for their ultimate safety in the coming decade. So I'm a little worried about that. Bottom line is, Britons, you need to rein your government in, fight back. Or else they're going to be trampling all over your rights and all over your backs before too long. Anyway, that's it for the Culture Shock today, folks. I'm out.